The War That Saved My Life, Chapter 30. Aye, Fred said, nodding, as though girls rode to him through snowstorms all the time, needing wool. He disappeared into the stables, and I heard him clop up the stairs to the rooms in the loft where he lived. He came down carrying a cloth bag printed in bright flowers. "It's the Mrs. Knitting bag," he said, thrusting it at me. "It's full of wool, all sorts. You can have it." I didn't know he had a missus. "Aye," he said, in response to my unspoken question. "She's been dead 5 years. Was nurse to Miss Margaret and Master Jonathan, and before that to their mother and her brothers." I squashed the bulky bag beneath my jacket to keep it out of the snow. Butter tossed his head, restless, and I let him turn for home. "Wait." Fred grabbed Butter's bridle. "When someone gives you a present," he said with a gentle smile, "you say, 'Thank you.'" Susan had taught me that, but I'd been so busy thinking about the wool the bag contained that I'd forgotten. "Thank you, Fred," I said. "Thank you very much. I wish I could say thank you to your missus, too." "Ah, well," he shook his head. "Happen she'd be glad I found her things a good home. You're very welcome, child." It was Thursday already, and Christmas was Monday, so I didn't have much time. When I got home, I dumped the bag onto my bed. There were 5 sets of knitting needles, from thick to thin, and a handful of smaller thin sticks that were pointed on both ends. There were all sorts of oddments of wool, rolled into balls, and there were 6 balls of fine white wool. The white wool would be best. I had plenty of it. I cast on and started to work. I expected Susan to be suspicious when I spent the whole afternoon in my cold bedroom, and she was. "What are you up to?" she asked at dinner. I ran through my options in my head. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't taking a bath. I couldn't be listening to the radio. Stalling while I searched for a plausible excuse, I said, "Nothing." To my surprise, she grinned. "Oh, really? I'll make a bargain with you. You can have a few hours of nothing time upstairs any time the rest of this week you like, as long as you give me the same amount of nothing time downstairs. You shout before you come down and wait until I tell you okay. Deal?" I could only nod. In the days to come, I could sometimes hear the whir of her sewing machine while I knit upstairs. I took a hot water bottle with me and put a blanket around my shoulders, and I knit white wool and oddments all the next 2 days. Wretched Bovril started wanting to sit in my lap on top of the water bottle until I threw him out and shut the door. The day before Christmas was a Sunday. When Jamie and I got up, we dressed in the clothes Susan insisted we save for Sundays. Jamie in his white shirt and tweed shorts and good dark socks. Me in the red dress Maggie had given me. We went down to breakfast and Susan shook her head. "Sorry, forgot. Go put on your regular things on for the day. We're going to church at night. All of us, even me. It's Christmas Eve." Because it was Christmas Eve, we had bacon at breakfast. During the day, I helped make biscuits. Jamie roasted chestnuts for the goose's dressing. Susan put the radio on and sang along to the Christmas music. Mid-afternoon, she made us bathe. She brushed my hair downstairs by the fire until it was dry and braided it into 2 pleats instead of 1. We ate supper, and then she told Jamie to go upstairs and put on his church clothes. She told me to sit still. I have a surprise. She put a big box wrapped in paper onto my lap. Inside was a dress made of soft, dark green fabric. It had puff sleeves and a round collar, and it gathered at the waist before billowing out into a long, full skirt. It was so beautiful I couldn't touch it. I just stared. "Come," Susan said, "let's see if it fits." I held perfectly still while she took off my sweater and blouse and settled the green dress over my head. "Step out of your skirt," Susan said, and I did. She buttoned the dress and stepped back. "There," she said, smiling, her eyes soft and warm. "It's perfect. Ada, you're beautiful." She was lying. She was lying and I couldn't bear it. I heard Mom's voice shrieking in my head. You ugly piece of rubbish! Filth and trash! No one wants you with that ugly foot! My hands started to shake. Rubbish. Filth. Trash. I could wear Maggie's discards or plain clothes from the shops, but not this beautiful dress. I could listen to Susan say she never wanted children all day long. I couldn't bear to hear her call me beautiful. What's the matter? Susan asked, perplexed. It's a Christmas present. I made it for you. Bottle green velvet, just like I said. Bottle green velvet. I can't wear this, I said. I pulled at the bodice, fumbling for the buttons. I can't wear it. I can't. Ada. Susan grabbed my hands. She pulled me to the sofa and set me down hard beside her, still restraining me. Ada, what would you say to Jamie if I gave him something nice and he said he couldn't have it? Think, what would you say? Tears were running down my face now. I started to panic. I fought Susan's grasp. I'm not Jamie, I said. I'm different. I've got the ugly foot. My throat closed over the word rubbish. Ada. Ada. I felt I could hardly hear Susan's voice. A scream built up from somewhere inside me, came roaring out in an ocean of sound. Scream after scream. Jamie running half-dressed down the stairs. Susan pinning down my arms, holding me against her, holding me tight. Waves of panic hit me, over and over, turning me and tossing me until I thought I drowned.